What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bulletproof Mindset, where we help you bulletproof your mind through health, fitness and entertainment. So today's episode, we get into why cardio is not a smart strategy to lose weight or fat. So if this is something you're interested in, let's get it.
So, discipline, we love it. But I fucked it last weekend. Oh, it'll be this week. It's this weekend when this goes up. It's next weekend, right? So, back on that discipline grind. How's your discipline grind going?
Good, surprisingly. So
You're only 3 days in.
aye, but though if there was 72 to go. So no, but good. So when I think about it, that was probably the hardest. That was going to be the hardest hurdle. The first wee bit is always the first week or two. Is always going to be hard, but then again, you can make the argument it's going to be easier because you're highly motivated and you're ready to go. I was ready to do it on Monday, so this would have been the 7th day, but it wasn't kicking off till the Friday, so I waited till the Friday. So mindset wise, I was already there. By far, yesterday was the hardest day to get the outside.
Sunday.
The workout wasn't too bad. Don't get me wrong, because I was up at the gym and I had a program there that I knew I had to get in and done anyway.
Yeah.
So that taking care of the 45-minute workout. The outdoor one, I didn't get home till about 8:30 last night, and I was doing programming. I was on the couch and I was like, this is right, I need to get right, monkey up, gonna walk out there. It was cold, it was windy, but got it done. Reading seems to be the hardest fucking thing for me, man. See,
I think
reading 10 pages.
I think reading would be the hardest for me.
But I'm enjoying. So I'm reading Scott University's Rebuilding Milo,
right,
which is going into detail of understanding true pain for the lower back, the shoulders, the knees, the ankles, so very common problems. And there's also a lot on mobility. So I should learn a lot from this.
So what does Milo mean?
So Rebuilding Milo is the story dating back to like Greek Olympians, and it was a story of a kid who carried a calf on his back, and he carried it into the village every single day. As the kid grew, he got stronger, and as the calf grew, he could obviously lift more. Now it's very unlikely that the kid could then carry a fucking bull, like the weight of a motor, like the weight of a polo,
my calf
on his back. But what it does, I think the story highlights the point of progressive overload and how to apply that. So it's a good book. It's good so far. So I'm on the spine just now, and I'm learning so much about like MRI scans and how an MRI scan can show a disc bulge, but it doesn't show necessarily if that's the cause of pain or if that's just a scarring that's happened. So it doesn't tell you the time that had happened.
Right.
So it's really disrupting the whole fucking low back pain for me, because I have so many people say, I've burst a disc, I've got a bulge in one of my discs in my back, and I'm like, but is that the cause of your pain? So he's talking about how to recreate the pain, and then how to actually fix the root cause. So I'm really enjoying it.
That sounds interesting.
So 75 hard. A reminder for people: it's 2 45-minute workouts outside. It is.
No,
2 45-minute workouts. One of them has to be outside. It's drinking a gallon of water a day, reading 10 pages.
How's your piss?
Not too bad. I didn't really. I forgot that this had actually happened, because I used to, when I was doing my prep, I was drinking a lot of water.
Yeah.
First couple of days, you're pissing like a racehorse.
Then you catch up.
But you adapt it. Your body gets used to it. So I feel quite good. I think that's maybe why I'm a wee bit perky, a wee bit more energy throughout the day. I have to be mindful of it, because very easily I'm like, I'll just have a coffee. Even though it is liquid, it is water. I'm trying to make sure that it is
water,
actual
just water on its own.
And not having the distractions. Take a progress picture is the other one, which is what it is. So I got this wrong last time, because I was saying like, this is like a fitness challenge, I guess, as such, and as the fitness guy I wanted to be at. I listened to the guy who created it, his podcast on it, and this isn't to do with fitness at all. Yes, you will see fitness benefits from it, but it's more about leveling up your mindset. It's about creating habits and doing the hard shit. So the 45-minute workout, I'll find that easy. There'll be aspects of it which I'll find more difficult, like the reading 10 pages. Might seem simple, but I just try to do it. I just really try to challenge my mindset of doing it. There's times like last night where I couldn't be bothered going out, but it's like, right, now I've said to myself, I'm going to do this, so I'm going to commit to it. The other one's no drinking alcohol. So we just recorded the episode on alcohol. So I've got Jillian's birthday coming up, and we're saying that like there's healthy times to drink, that would probably be a time that I would drink, but I've set myself this goal and this challenge, so I'm not going to be like a party pooper or anything. I can still. You have to follow a diet as well. So my diet, I'm avoiding ultra processed foods, and what I'm classing that as anything that's got any more than 10 ingredients in it, I'm not going to have. So things in wrappers that usually should keep within the category. There's obviously some things that fall into that category. They still are classed as ultra processed.
Yeah.
But I'm just not having them like packaged goods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whole meals, chicken, beef, steaks, all that sort of stuff, my eggs and bacon, bananas. And,
a whole foods diet would be just simple, innit?
Yeah. So that's I'm not giving myself too much restriction there. I see a lot of guys in the chat that's like, right, I'm
no
going
bread
keto,
and all
I'm going
shite.
carnivore, and look, so I'm avoiding bread, for example, because I've had a lot of like bread and pasta, and I know my gut doesn't react pretty well to that.
So
I get used to it.
That's one thing that I've never really ate much of is bread.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
really, that's true. I've never actually seen you. Well, I've got a toaster in there. I bought a toaster specifically for you.
But the thing is, like, it's no reason if I go, I don't want bread to make myself look better. I've never seen why people eat so much bread.
Really?
I never understand it. Like,
It's
why
a sandwich? I love it.
Why would people want to be sandwich?
Does it fucking taste good?
No, it doesn't. A sandwich is all right.
No,
I don't really like cold food though.
a piece and crisps. You can't beat a piece and crisps, mate.
Mate, do you know? See, if you're talking about that's like a pure council scran. If you come for the scheme,
It is, but it's class.
But do you know what? The best council
butter as well. Butter, crisps.
The best council scran that I ever used to have was curry super noodles and a smoked sausage mixed in together. You would cut the smoked sausage up and fuck it in the noodles.
So when you went to school, did you know? So my go-to school lunch when you ate out, can you remember like what some of the places you used to go? So Rowan Square sausage was that a staple? I remember that being 50p. That's a fucking wild time and that was only 2005, 2006. That's when I was in high school. So the week after
we went to our day, the Rowan sausage and bacon was $3.50.
Oh, was it?
But it was
$3.50.
It was expensive. It was really good, but that just shows you the price of how things are going. Do you know what I mean? It was a nice week after. It was nice and clean. You could tell that the cooking facilities were good. Everything was clean, so you could tell they were working hard. But that's expensive.
Aye, it is. But so the reason I was bringing that up is I got another go-to became micro noodles and buying a roll.
Still love them as well.
Micro noodles, buying a roll with butter.
Oh my god!
I might actually go try and get one of them. Oh no, it's processed. Yes. I'll need to wait 75 days.
72 days.
So, but this is the point. It's like going like life is too easy, and this is what I wanted to say. In that life, more or less, I was editing one of the podcasts, and you said something which was quite interesting. You said, everybody keeps saying yes to you can't have it. You were like joking about something that I'd said, and you're right. Like, it's pretty easy to kind of get what you want. You're not really faced with too much challenge.
No adversity.
Life can get comfortable, and I like to
make my own adversity on the daily.
I like to just text my girlfriend, "Fuck you, come at me. What challenges can I get on with today?" Create your own shit. You will be stronger. But it did get me thinking, because when we were trying to think of the name of this podcast, we were going back and forth with like, what was it, like raw coaching and all this, and then one thing that like we came up with a name like Bulletproof, and we were like, bulletproof coaching, and we were kind of going back and forth, and I was like, I don't want it to just be on fitness though. Like, and we were both like, we wanted to like have a wee bit of banter, and then we're like bulletproof mindset, and like, there's so much involved I think that we need to get in terms of our mindset. And the whole point of starting this was that we don't know everything, but we definitely, I guarantee, I'd like to think you're more or less aligned with this as well. Like, we'd still be doing this in 10 years because it's something that we truly enjoy.
You learn all the time.
And this is
doing this kind of thing. You learn all the time.
Exactly.
We say a lot of the things, but there's things that we bring in and go, right here, look, and then you look that up and go, I would never have thought that.
No, and this is why I wanted to. So I'm sure, like, I know I'm doing this challenge just now. I know you're following a different style of programming, which you're probably going to share at some point later down the line, once you get a wee bit of experience. So we want to kind of test the waters, and we can't be authentic to ourselves or have integrity if we're not constantly pushing those boundaries. So that was another reason. I was like, when I seen that, and the more I've thought about it, I didn't communicate that before, so when I seen that kind of popping off, I was like, you know what, yep, this is my time.
So I honestly see your talk about that kind of discipline and making things harder. One of the best things that I've ever done that I can't do now because it's my job is delete all social media. I can't even describe how good you feel after a week of no social media, there's this relaxation that you have in life that comes from not being on the kind of platforms, and it's hard to describe to people who have never done it.
And I think the only way you can sort of get a sense of that is certainly when you get outdoors and you climb a hill. And I remember I was saying like how I felt so good. Yeah, I'll take my phone out to take a picture, but it's not as if I'll go on social media as much.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a combination of that. Like we done that on Christmas Day.
100%.
After the snow was up to my hips. New Year's Day. Snow was up to my hips, so you can pull your phone out. But
when you have no social media on your phone, you realise there's nothing much to go on your phone for. Right? There's nothing. So if you're ever going on your phone, what are you going on for? You're going on for social media.
So I know that. So I get on board with everything you're saying, but I don't know, man. I still feel like I don't know. It's a hard one. I think you know how you say like I've always said that before. Like if I didn't have a business, I wouldn't have social media. But I generally think I would. I think I would. I think there's something that's quite nice to see what's going on in the world, like funny videos. Like I've had some of the like hilarious belly laughs from some videos that I've seen online. I don't know. It's a very fine dance. It's
very, very, very fine. But what I would say is you become so much more confident when you're off social media.
You think so?
100%. The conversations that I could have.
Well, don't get me wrong. There's a dark side of it when you're always seeing like the perfect life, the perfect thing.
It's not about. It's about your dopamine. Do you know what I mean? We've spoke about this before. Like, right now, if you're wanting, as you say, a funny video, right? If you're saying, right, I'm going to watch something, right? And you go bang, right? You're like, it's there. And you've watched it and you've enjoyed it. You maybe sit for 10, 15 minutes and you go, right, that was good, I enjoyed that. See, if you can't do that, what do you need to do? You need to go and find something else. You need to, because your brain needs stimulated, right? Because you're ready to be stimulated.
Yeah.
If it's not there, then it has to be somewhere else. So it can be a conversation with somebody else. It can be doing exercise that you never thought you were going to do. It was unplanned exercise. It's more unplanned.
Yeah.
Everything becomes more unplanned. I was doing things I'm like, I would never want to do this before. And it was no anything crazy. It was just like I'll just get things done so much easier because I had that drive to. And instead of going on here,
you know what, you are right, because I said like TikTok was absorbing so much of my time at one point.
TikTok's the worst.
Because it's our generation, man. Or it's this generation growing up. It's like short, snappy, short videos, and you're like, it's only 10 seconds. I remember Vine 6-second videos, swiping through, and I'm like, I've just sat on my phone for 3 hours watching 6-second videos. How much different pieces of content has went into my mind there? That's fucking bizarre. Nothing stuck. But I remember setting I've got a limit actually. If I'm on TikTok for any longer than 15 minutes, it kind of pops up and it says your time's expired. Do you want to snooze this? So it keeps me present. And I've done that, and I'm like, I get up, I'll create pieces of content for my business. I'll do stuff I'm saying I'll do stuff around the house or chilling, but do you fuck? I'll be more active in kind of things that I need to tick off my list. You've seen that list of to do stuff that I need to do. So there I was yesterday, and I was doing programs and getting some of the new coaching people on board. And I'll be going through my phone, and I got that 15 minute, and I was like, right, fuck, put it down, and I cracked on with my programming, and I could have easily went an hour. So like there's things you can do, like if you don't know, like on your iPhone, if you get an Android phone, why do you have an Android phone? Like get with the times, get an iPhone. But you can snooze, I'm sure you can snooze whatever phone that you've got. You've got timers that you can put on these apps, and you'll be very surprised at how that can actually help you become more productive. So we are in the new year, and what would you say? So everyone's got a health and fitness goal. Like most people, actually, I know some people, like family members that probably don't have a health and fitness goal. There's
so many people out there who unfortunately don't.
But if they don't, they won't be listening to this podcast. But because you're listening to this podcast, we know you are probably the biggest person in your gym in terms of gains and everything, because you are constantly livening up your mindset by listening to us too, chat shit and 100%. Whatnot. But what would you say the most common goal is just now?
Lose weight.
Aye. Now, losing weight, what's the most common thing that everyone will be doing to lose weight?
Running on a treadmill.
Aye. Cardio. So I wanted to bring this up because...
Classes.
Aye. Oh, here we go again.
Body pump.
Stop doing it. So the reason... So obviously speaking about 75 Hard, and it's in the Yes group, so the Young Entrepreneurs Society. There is 60 members in here of people who's doing it. So I put a wee message in the chat last night, and I was like, what's some things that you like to hear us speak about in the podcast? So someone came back saying how everyone, when they start out, they think they need to go balls to the walls and they need to go 100%. And I'd already made that post yesterday, and I was like, it's funny you say that, mate, because I made the post saying, listen up, if tomorrow's your first workout back in the gym, make sure that you do this one thing, and that is cut your planned workout in half, because we tend to overdo it. Now, alongside that, someone else put in the chat that they were going to the gym for the first time. They've got a lot of weight to lose, and they think they're going to do cardio to burn the fat and lift light weights to progress. What's the opinions on this, please, for some help?
So they actually asked that,
Yeah, that was his specific question. So look, and I'm very cautious of this, because I knew if you were asking me this a couple of years ago, I'd be like, no, don't do cardio, don't do this, blah blah blah, and I would have switched him off. He's obviously gravitating towards that because it's maybe easier for him to get into the gym. So I said, look, good going, man. It's actually gave me an idea for an episode where I want to speak about why cardio is not necessarily, in fact, it isn't the best way to lose fat or lose weight when you're going in, if that's what your goal is. And we'll come on to why in a wee sec. So what I'd said back to that individual, and if this is you, this is something to really consider. If you're looking to lose weight, it's not necessarily weight, it's probably body fat that everybody wants to lose.
Body fat.
And if you fall into this camp, whatever you choose to do to lose that weight, ask yourself this one question: is it something that you can do forever? So an example I put in the chat was, if you're losing weight and you're going to run 5 times a week, and you do it, you lose weight and you're happy with it, make peace that to keep that weight off, because you've chosen the cardio option, you have to keep doing that for now the rest of your life, more or less. Now, if you hate running, it's not a long-term approach, is it? So if you lose weight, you might level up the skill of discipline and all that, and that does have its value, it has its benefits. But 8 weeks down the line, you're going to probably be happy. You might not be happy, but you definitely would have lost weight. But you're now in a position that your body is adapted to that stress, and it needs that activity in. On a regular basis, and you're going to get sick, you're going to get ill, there's going to be a holiday, there's going to be times where you just naturally fall off for whatever reason, life gets in the way, and you're not going to be able to run 5 times a week. You might get sore, you might get your knees will hurt. Most people don't know how to run. It's as stupid as that seems. That's running is a skill.
Some people don't even know how to walk.
No, I know, but I used to see it all the time, Gym 24, people running on the treadmills and their hips shifting side to side, and I'm like, the young person just now, so they maybe no feel the pain and niggle that does, but I can already see mechanically how that's going to cause issues.
Really dangerous.
I know, and it's the wiggle and the arse and the fucking arch.
It's like when you do suitcase carries and go, mate, do you know you can't even walk properly?
This is something that I had an argument with somebody like when I was working in the office, and I was like, people don't know how to walk. And he's like, what do you mean people don't know how to walk? I was like, everybody's got different structures of how they walk, and there is a skill and technique to walking. And as a fucking human race, we're losing that. And he was like, no, we're not. And I was like, but we are, because we're more sedentary, and the less that we use that skill, the harder it becomes to actually carry out that technique. It's fucking wild.
It's crazy.
Genuinely, I've never seen the film WALL-E, but I know how it ends and how it. do you know what I'm talking about? The wee robot thing?
You would know.
And everybody's all fat, and then fucking we're no far off that. We ain't no far. We're not far off that at all.
Like, I remember the first time I seen somebody who couldn't properly walk when I went.
And it was a shift.
I was like, what the fuck's going on here? I was like, there's something all right. And he was walking on his toes. And then obviously he already had problems with his hips, and I was like,
and his knees as well, because
I was like, there is your issue. You've been walking wrong your full life. I says, and that's just gradually got worse and worse and worse. Somebody had the exact same problem with their hips, and then I got them to do the same exercise, and guess what? They couldn't walk properly. And I went, that's what's wrong with your hips. It was like, it's not your hips, it's how you've walked, because some people naturally bounce on their toes and think it's okay, but it's not. There's obviously just other ways to walk, like you say they shift too much, but it's simple techniques, and over the years and years
when
and
you
years
think that is life, that is life on the build up to that.
You are
that's
walking
probably the hardest.
You're walking
thing to
every
correct.
single day, whether you're walking a lot or not a lot. And even if you're, especially if you're not walking a lot, so you're sitting down on your ass most of the day, you're stiffening up, and then you're walking wrong.
Yeah,
you're gonna have really bad hips, really bad knees, and that. Like, if you can look up how to walk, you'll be like, shut the fuck up. I'm not fucking looking up how to walk. But there's actually a lot more to it than people think.
No, I know, and it's a skill that
some people do it naturally. Some people do like, I've never seen it before. And started personal training people, and I got them to do a walking exercise. I'm like, He can't walk.
Why you?
I'm not slagging him.
Aye.
He feels that he cannot walk properly.
But this is the thing: people you get your back up so tight, and I think this is why the individual that I challenged in my old job, because I was like, look, you've got knee problems because of the way that you're walking. He's like, no. I've always walked like this, and I goes, you're re-emphasising the point that I'm trying to make. You know what I mean?
You have always walked like this, but that's because.
So I want to get into this subject of why cardio is not the best way to lose fat. Now, I have a strong opinion on this, right? So I know you wouldn't anyway. Call my bullshit or call out if you don't agree with the way then.
Right, go for it. I'll be 100% honest.
Right, so as trainers, right, my biggest pet peeve with trainers is the whole. It's hard to even communicate this, but there is an ego when a personal trainer is training someone, and it's not everyone, right? It's usually an inexperienced or newish trainer, and they have done exercises with their client, but the goal of the exercises and the goal of training that client is to make them sweat and get their heart rate up. And it's the cardio, it's the HIIT, it's that sort of style of training. And I feel that a lot of trainers fall into that camp, because if their client doesn't see physical responses, like they're not sweating, they're not sore the next day, then they feed into where they think their client's going to come back to them. It's like, oh, this isn't working for me. I'm not really training. Right. And this is why I always say doing less actually means more.
Yeah.
So onto the cardio side of things. The usually rule of thumb, if you want to lose weight, like we said, you're jumping on some sort of cardio base. You're doing classes, you're doing treadmills, stairmasters, incline walk, whatever it is, but you're doing some form of steady state or high intensity cardios. So the reason that I strongly believe, and I can speak from experience, that this does not work is because the signal that you're sending to your body is a stress signal that's saying get more efficient at this exercise. We need to get better at this exercise. Yeah. And what that actually does is slow down the metabolism.
Yeah, it does.
So the Hudson Tribe,
I was actually thinking about this the other night before we even spoke about this. So many people slow down their metabolism,
and it's because of this one reason. So the Hudson Tribe is a modern hunter-gatherer tribe who live like we used to ancestrally. They are on their feet all day. They are hunting animals. So they are running long bouts. Now, it's been studied by many different people, and they've studied their metabolisms. Now, you would think someone who's running all the time, every single day, they're hunting their food miles on end, and you would think that these individuals would be burning thousands and thousands of calories if you take into concept that, oh, my watches tell me every time I run I burn 800 calories. So these guys are running all day, right, 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, and their calories were the same of an average obese person in the States, right? So someone who has a sedentary lifestyle, their metabolisms were the same. You may think, what the fuck? How is that happening? Our bodies are adaptive, adapt to the stresses that we signal, they adapt to the stresses that we do. So with cardio, like I said, your body becomes more efficient. So their metabolism is more efficient, because if they constantly ran, and they would just get weaker, smaller, and their muscles would atrophy, and they'd be fragile human beings. Yeah. But our bodies can adapt to these stresses, so they get stronger at that. So their bodies are doing what they've told them. So if you take that principle and you're looking to lose weight and you start running, so say the average person is not going to be able to go from zero to hero in the matter of weeks. So say an average person goes, right, I'm going to run twice a week for 30 minutes. You will see weight loss in that. You will see pounds drop off the scales, and you'll have this trajectory that feeds into your ego. Holy shit, this is fucking working. So you're straight away, you're adapted, right? Okay, I have now found an exercise. This is how it works. So you lose a couple of pounds, but I guarantee you, week 4, week 5, maybe even earlier, maybe a little bit longer, round about that number of weeks, your body adapts to that stress, because your body is then going, right, we need to actually store energy, because our body is adapted to this stress is going to come to us on twice a week, so it's more efficient with those calories that you consume. So then you're left with a decision, right? Okay, I'm not seeing the weight loss as much as I did at the start. So you've got two options, and your two options is usually lose calories, drop the calories down more, or do more cardio. Everybody always does more. I'm going to do an extra spin class. I'm going to do the extra 30 minutes. Yeah. So here you go. And 3 weeks down the line, a little bit of weight loss. And before you know it, you're faced with 10 weeks down the line, you're running 3-4 times a week. You don't like running, but you're now stuck in this state where your body is highly efficient to this cardio aspect, and you're stuck in a position that this is now a regular routine that you have to carry out. So back to the point I was making, that if you fall sick, everybody's got to get sick, right? You've got to get knocked for 10, you've got to be out the gym for a week.
Nothing.
Where you do, you're floored. Now that week that you do that, you will gain a significant amount of weight. Maybe not so much in the early days, but it will knock you for 10, because it's going to be hard to run back up to the 5 times a week that you get to, or 3 times a week, whatever it is, 45 minutes an hour, and you're stuck in that state, and then you're back to square one, and you're like, fuck man, I now need to start that journey again. So you've had a track record or a blueprint of how you've managed to lose the weight.
Yeah.
So in your mind, you're like, right, all I need to do is do that again. But what we don't really talk about in fitness is when you regain weight and gain fat, you gain fat cells, and you can never actually lose the fat cells. You can get fat. That's why you see competitors who diet hard for a show, and they're in incredible condition, and they have, like, some competitors have a really dirty off season where they bulk up. They're gaining fat cells. That's why, like, each show to show, they actually lose, like, their conditioning as much.
Yeah.
They're getting a little bit thicker.
Yeah, they're not. They can't get to that leanness that they once had.
And this is an extreme example, but this happens to the average person.
No,
because there's crash diets and there's the fucking cardio that they apply.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a horrible way to do it.
Next time round, like, I've had 2 individuals that came to me over my coaching career so far, where their metabolisms are so damaged of years and years of that. And this is what I was saying to you, where the clients that I've had, where they have been eating 1,200 calories, but they're not responding. Like, that's all that they're eating. But it's because their metabolism is so efficient from all that fucking high intensity bullshit they've been doing. So it takes a long time for them to actually adapt. So you go around to that cycle, you go for, right, okay, last time I done 2 30-minute runs and I lost that weight. And then I done 3 30-minute runs and 4, I'll do that again. So you do the 2 30-minute runs, but your body's already got the blueprint and the experience and the memory of that, doing that. So it doesn't lose the weight as quick. You get into that adaptive state a lot quicker. So this is why I'm such a big advocate of not going down the cardio route.
Well, here's my opinion, and it's similar. But see, at the end of the day, cardio is not for burning calories. We know this. It's for health. It's for being fitter. It's for increasing your VO2 max. Yeah. It's for being able to be better at that cardio. Same with lifting weights. You don't lift weights to lose weight. You lift weights to get better at lifting weights.
Yeah.
I would never go in and go, I'm going to do this squat so that I can lose weight. I'm going to do a squat so I get better at squatting. And it's the same with running. I'm going to do this run so I can be a better runner.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy running, and I enjoy the fitness and the heart health that it gives me. When I lift weights, I enjoy the lifting the weights, I enjoy the feeling after it, and I enjoy being stronger and having bigger muscles. But then you need to go, right, so how do I lose the weight from there? Yeah,
and like, I also want to communicate, if you're someone who falls into the camp where you run twice a week because
you like it,
you just love it, it's good for your health, you're doing it not necessarily to lose weight, but you're doing it because work is sometimes crazy and you just love putting your tunes in and just running. Like Andy, he loves running. He used to tell me he used to run to work and run home, and I'm like, you're mental. But he's like, I just loved putting music in my ears and just running. If you fall in that camp, amazing. Like, you won't, like, I would never say to you not to run. But if you're looking to lose weight, there is a different strategy, and I want to get into that different strategy. One other thing on the running aspect, it is catabolic, which means that you send a signal to your body to pare down fat, but also pare down muscle. Yeah. And what I mean by pare down is your body will get rid of that because it's an expensive tissue. If your metabolism is trying to be more efficient, you need to get rid of the tissues that's saying you need to feed us because you can't have that much.
Your metabolism wants to be best at what you're doing.
Yeah. Look at long distance runners.
If you're a runner, you don't want to be holding lots of muscle.
Yeah, because
your shoulders and your back and your arms.
More strain and stress in the body. Look at long distance runners. They are super skinny, but that's because that's like a competitor in a sport, for example. They are looking to be the best of the long distance running, so their body has to be most efficient at that, and that just shows you the type of training and style of where your physique can end up. If you know that you'll go down that route, but most people that do cardio, you end up just being a skinnier version of yourself because you pare down the muscle, you lose some belly fat, and then you become skinny fat. This is where this comes from. So you need to build up a foundation. You need to look, and I'm saying all this, and I'm speaking from experience. And if you go down this route, you need to make peace that this is a longer route to go down, and this is for life. Yeah. But you also make peace with this will keep you healthier and fitter for longer.
100%.
And that's lifting weights. So there's a study that just got done in December, and it followed 3 groups of people. It followed a group of people who done strength training and cardio. Strength training, cardio only,
And
then
strength only.
just resistance training. They didn't even call it strength training, so I'm assuming it's just a combination of different lifts with resistance. Now, in this study, out of the 3 groups that they followed, they were testing for who had the best body composition after 12 weeks. Where would you make a stab of saying who done it?
Who had the best body composition? How much cardio were they doing? And then cardio and strength?
I actually don't know. I think it was 25 minutes with
Every day?
with every workout.
And was
I think it was 4 workouts a week.
So is it the starter?
I've not actually went into that detail, so I'll probably need to go into that. But my mind would automatically go, it's like, surely it's the lifting weights and cardio. That makes much more sense to me.
It's the only thing depending on what kind of cardio it was.
Aye.
If it's high intensity, then definitely not.
No, it was steady state cardio. It was
Steady state cardio.
Steady state cardio. But what
I would have thought steady state cardio.
So it was actually the group that only just lifted weights, the group that only resistance trained, and I was like, really? Is that right?
So I like studies, right? And I know you're invested in that study. But the one thing that is missing out of that is, did the...
Oh no, so we spoke about this before. Studies, you can't just take it as black and white. It can be moulded. It can be...
No, but what I'm saying is,
in
that study, I know you've not read in it yet, but the calories for every single person needs to be adjusted to the person's body weight. Do you know what I mean? Or you can't go, well, they gain more and they gain more. Well, you have no idea the behaviours of each of these studies.
But this is the thing.
I would still 100% agree with what they're saying.
So it's just interesting because you've got a group of individuals who done cardio and was prescribed a cardio program to lose weight, and if you feed into that whole lose weight, their body composition wasn't any better than the person who lifted weights.
No.
Now, changing your body composition, this is kind of the piece of the puzzle that everybody miss. Not necessarily guys too much, because guys will want to look a certain way. But when you say to girls, right, we're going to actually build a little bit of muscle, build some foundations, they're like, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. And it's like, we're trying here. Like, we've spoken about this before, how it's just overcoming that. But if you lift weights, the signal that you send to your body is, yes, you're going to get better at that. Like you said, that subject to what you're doing. So the stress in your body is these micro tears to your muscles and joints and ligaments and all that. So you're going to get those joints stronger. Your muscles are going to get stronger. And if you increase your muscle mass, you build your metabolism up. So you can go from eating like 1,500 calories to 2,500 calories over a long period of time. Yes, but you are then in. You hear that? What is that?
Keep going.
Is it next door? I thought it was your phone or something.
No.
So you can go from eating 1,500 calories to 2,500 calories by lifting weights. And what you might go, well, why would I eat more food? Because moderation, we're fucking faced with so many challenges of more food at our fingertips. 2 buttons and a Chinese can be on its way to you. That's mad.
What people find when they eat more food, they don't want to eat as much snacks, as much processed foods, because they've had 2,500 calories throughout the full day. That's enough for most people. They're like, I've had enough food, I don't want any more food. I might have a wee snack, but it's not like I'm going to binge at this time of night. So if you're training and you're eating a wee bit more, you're going to have less time to eat. Because if you're going from 1,500 calories to 2,500 in the space of about 6 months, you need to add in at least another meal, at least. So that's an extra bit of time throughout the day, which is gone as well.
It's not even that's a good point, but the other one that people don't really think about is the impact that you have of gaining fat. You're less likely to gain fat and fuck it from a night out. Like if your metabolism at 1,200, 1,400, 1,500 calories, and your metabolism is in that state, and then you get to a weekend and you have a couple of cocktails, a couple of beers, you're already in that low state. Like already you've blown your calorie maintenance for the day, and then you're having like a takeaway or something at night.
Exactly.
This is just how life goes. Whereas if you're consistently working on that, and that night out does come along, you're not as fearful the next day, or the bloatiness feeling, or the sort of all that extra calories. It's not so it's still detrimental, but it's not as detrimental as what it would if you had a slower metabolism. So that's why a lot of people will be going down the cardio route just now, and so it's just a wee bit of food for thought to think, right, is there a different approach?
I've got somebody coming at me today, and I've heard it for a wee while, but I've got better at putting across my views on how I should be teaching people. When she's got to come into me today, I'm going to go, look, I know you want to lose weight, but that's not what we're here for in this hour. We're here to better your lifts, get strong, right? Build muscle. That's all we're doing. I says, and if you want to build the muscle that you've broke down in here, you need to eat more. But I say, if you want to lose weight, then you need to track your food, and then you need to eat less.
So is that
you need to eat more protein. Sorry, I meant to say. And then I says, but I'm going to say, look, if you want to lose weight, it's no way down here with me. There's nothing about what you do in here with me that's going to lose you weight.
Yeah.
I says, if you don't, have a look at what you're eating.
You just a couple of points on that. So you will run. So say you take the cardio route, you run 30 minutes. You add that extra cardio in a week. If you break that down every day, see if you just eat 50 calories less in a day, you'll get a better response to that. Now, it's not always the better strategy to go down, depending on where your maintenance is, but is it easier to eat 50 calories less or run 30 minutes? You know what I mean? Like, so that's one thing that just popped into my head. But you saying that that's like a staple cook.
It's easier to walk for 40 minutes on a slight incline than it is to run for 20 minutes on a flat.
Or even just like get outside because there's more benefits.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I mean.
Like,
walk for 40 minutes outside.
Just outside. Like,
instead of going on a treadmill and running for 20, 30 minutes.
I used to laugh at the people who park in the front spot outside the gym, and we used to in Pure Gym in Nottingham, we used to like the morning crew that showed up,
right,
everybody fucking fought over this one space, and there was like 3 people who always fought over this place, and I'm like, well, it doesn't matter, like I like parking at the front, like blah blah blah, but they go upstairs, they get changed, and they go on the treadmill, and I'm like, see if you just park further, like you would be surprised at how much more healthier and like healthier habits that kind of carries over to. But yeah, it's just one thing I wanted to bring up, and I fucking despise bodybuilding coaches for this, and this is why I'm passionate about. I think 75 Hard is going to help me get back into that discipline and kind of level out my mindset. I think I'll do a show. Again because I really want to disrupt the space. Not really the space, because it's not a common thing. I'm hearing a lot more people communicate the message that we're saying here, but in the bodybuilding world, particularly in Scotland, I'm seeing a lot, even the UK, I'm seeing a lot of people that are going for shows and they're doing fucking cardio 12 weeks out, especially girls who are competing in bikini. I'm like, why? Why you that should be the last. It should be the last lever that's pulled to home in, like get you from 6% to 4%.
Something I don't really know much about the bodybuilding. To be honest,
and that's why I want to maybe communicate that. But you should always look at your food first.
I'm never trying to make anybody a bodybuilder who comes to me.
No, I know. And the point that you made there, like saying that you're not here to lose weight with me. No. Like that. I love saying that, because I always say to people, like, I'm maybe not the right coach for you, because if you want to just lose weight in the next 6 weeks, like people can do that, but I ain't going to do that with you.
My approach is always track first, learn how to track first, because if you don't know how to track, you're not in the habit of tracking. And I always find that when people track and they have a goal at the same time, it's too much for them. So I get them to track. I say, track every single thing you are eating. Don't give a fuck what it is. I say that to them. I say that so that there's no guilt in whatever they're putting in.
I know, it's so funny you say that, because I'm very same. So I've signed up, but I'm doing the 3 weeks free coaching. So I had the calls with them all on Saturday, Sunday. I've got a few today, and I'm like, look, you ever tried food before? And some of them are like, yeah, some of them are like, no. And I'm like, right, MyFitnessPal, because what I'll do is I'll tap into the nutrition. We're not going to do fucking wonders in 3 weeks, but I want to try and show you one side in the nutrition. And I say this one thing, I'm like, just because you're now working with a coach, I don't want to see you like an apple for breakfast if you never have a fucking apple for breakfast.
That's it.
I need to understand how you're eating, and then from there I can then educate you and make a decision on the calories are too low, because you're not left with much room to go down. So we actually need to build your calories, and that's how like
exactly.
I'm communicating that.
That is exactly what it is. What you'll find is with most people, you build their calories up because they eat so little calories that their NEAT is next to nothing. What a lot of people don't understand, you burn so much through NEAT. But if you are not moving when you are sitting down, like I burn so much through NEAT. That's how my maintenance for a guy who's 81 kilo is so high. It's because I constantly move. I mean, that might be undiagnosed ADHD, but I eat a lot, and I always eat a lot, and it's that's what keeps me going. When I don't eat a lot, like yesterday, I'm sitting there going, I'm not moving. I'm just lying on the couch. I'm falling asleep. You know what I mean? When I'm eating more, I'm lying there, but then I'm moving, I'm getting up, I'm on the phone. When I'm on the phone, I'm walking about. I'm never sitting there. And what people find is, when they start eating a little bit more than they were eating, they move more and they're like, I'm no losing or gaining. I'm like, I know, because you're building up to your actual maintenance that your body wants to be at while you're strength training. And if you're doing a little bit of cardio for health, you're building up the maintenance, and then there will be a point where you will maybe put on a pound or two, and that's when you go, right, your maintenance is there. Now, you're at a much higher calorie threshold. You are strength training, you've started your journey, you're doing the cardio for your health, right? I'm not going to be doing much of that, by the way, but just a little bit. If you're not, it just depends how much you're moving. I just want to get you moving. And then we go, right, bring your calories down. And then that is when you'll be at a healthy calorie balance to lose weight and build muscle and feel good. Do you know what I mean?
And look, the reason... So back to the PT side, and the reason not many PTs take this approach is because
it takes a while.
It takes a long time.
It takes a while, and you don't see progress at first, and especially
not even progress. I would say you see a different type of progress because you're looking for pounds off the scales.
What I'm saying is, they don't. People who come in who want to lose weight don't see that kind of progress, especially in the first 4 weeks. There's none, but then it's the next 8 weeks, and everybody goes, "I feel so much better."
I've got main energy.
Now I'm losing weight.
Aye. My back doesn't hurt, my shoulders. So this is why I like the lifting weights approach. It's just more resilient and more bulletproof for your body. Like that's really what you try to look at.
Your body's strong. Your joints they can handle so much more range of motion. Your lower back can handle it because the rest of your body's strong. People hurt their lower back because the rest of the body's weak. Yeah,
so it's in Squat University's book, he was saying like the average weightlifter and power lifter their lower back or their lumbar part of their spine can hold up to 16 times the pressure, and that's mad. Like, so how resilient can that be when you're moving in all these different directions? Exactly. So, so it's a subject I wanted to go in. So this is for people who are maybe you've kind of had a couple of cycles going in and out the gym.
Well, there's people who've been training for years and years and years, and this is still their approach.
Yeah, I know.
Their approach is, I've gained a little bit of weight, let's smash cardio. They still do it to this day. It's not like it's not a newbie. This is just uneducated in that way. I'm not saying uneducated in general. I'm saying they've not been educated in that, because I would say this is kind of a newer thing that everybody's getting. What you'll find is a lot of the younger generation, they understand this. It's slightly older generation who were not brought up in social media as much.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I see the whole fucking TikTok with the incline walk and put it on this speed and you'll lose weight. I think there's still a bit of a naivety to it. There's
always going to be that, because that's the way everybody's brought up for so long.
But then I still see personal trainers like, I don't know. I still see this. No, even like they'll go, deadlifts is good, and I can see them. And I'm like, okay, like maybe we're starting to change the direction. But then at the end of a strength session, there's like burpees then put in, and I'm like, you've just ruined that session. There's no need for fucking burpees to go in there. Jillian was saying this to me. So she went to a boxing class, and she loved it. She wanted to learn how to fight. She wanted to learn how to
fucking smash your cunt in.
Anytime I go on that computer, anytime I start gaming, she's like,
you playing Apex,
So she was doing it and she was learning the skill. And at the end of the class, and this is just feeding into the same kind of coaching aspect, what they then had to do was a circuit of endurance, which was burpees, star jump.
For boxing, you can kind of understand.
No, but see, if I don't know, like, I'm not a boxing coach, but if I'm programming for a performance athlete, for something, there's a skill aspect that you need to learn. There is an endurance bit that's separate, and there's all these different bits. But I feel that, so Jillian said it as well. She said that was put in at the end to make us sweat because we might not have sweated. It was to get us to go, I'm fucked, man. That was hard. We keep feeding into this whole. If you get the endorphin rush, it's the adrenaline junkies, and that's why all these people love classes and they love that shit because let's fucking go, like on the spin classes and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sure it's I don't know if it's controversial. I don't think
it's controversial. I just think a lot of people don't understand it. I just think it's not understood. It's not the thing is, with gyms, they want you to come in and do cardio
because it's less it's less maintenance or wear and tear on the club.
Exactly. Your treadmills are built for people to be on all day, every day. And plus, if you're on that, then the rest of the space is empty, it's free. Plus, they want you to come in and do the classes.
That's why the big warehouse one is like 28 treadmills.
They want you to come in and do the classes, and they want you to not come in and do the classes much.
Yeah, because they can control the footprint of how busy the place is.
Exactly. So the big gyms are still going to be marketing around about that kind of thing. They're not going to go, don't come in and do these classes, you're not going to lose weight here. If all these people are coming in, because I've heard so many times, oh, I'm gonna lose the weight, and like people would be asking me like, so James, is this going to lose me this fat here? And I'm at the front of the class, and I'm like, no, I'm going to be honest with you, nothing that we've done in here today is going to lose you any weight. And I'm like, what? And sometimes you go, is that a bit unprofessional? But it's no, because it's about teaching.
It's your integrity though as well. Like very easily you can go, like keep coming to my classes and make sure I'm the busiest, and look, it's why there's a market model for it, and it's just you're just feeding into like the norm, I guess. So it's good to like that's what I used to say like, in my circuit classes. I was like, look, this is going to be a very slow paced circuit class to what you guys are used to. What? And then I remember doing the strength circuits on a Saturday morning, and I put different stations, so there was 7 stations, and I made sure everybody rested at least 30 to 45 seconds, and like, ready to go, and I was like, take your time. So it was like a mid-range.
That's what I found. See, when I got a couple of people from the classes, they do a set, they wait and they go right back in. I'm like, whoa. You didn't work hard enough. You obviously didn't work hard enough in that last set because they're used to not working hard enough. Because the thing is, they're usually fucked before they get into a set, so like, right, 30 seconds, so only get to 30 seconds. No, you need to do 10 quality reps.
It's connection to the muscle.
It's a different vibe.
That's what I used to say about body pump, because I remember looking at the class when I...
You're just moving weight.
And I was like, I'm going to blow my lower back out, but that's because I was connecting to my muscle. And then I'm looking about, I'm like, how would they know? They were just moving.
I would do the same. I would be doing my squats like an actual squat, where they're just going up and down, which is different.
Connecting to the muscle. Different. It's just stress on the joint. It's no
stress. See the amount of knees I looked at, went, oh my god, they will be sore soon.
Right, I think we should wrap it up there. So hopefully that has armed you with some information on why not to do cardio for weight loss, but just I just kind of re-emphasise, cardio is good for your health. It is not good for weight loss and fat loss. Okay, so if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you are following us on Instagram, and also make sure you give us a shout out on your stories, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. You can find me on Instagram at Coach Crosser.
You can find me at RogerFit.
See you guys soon.
Have a nice one.